I'm going to call to order this special meeting, Manlius Town Board, September 6, 2023, at about 6:13 p.m. As always, we're hybrid. You can join us via Zoom. If you're interested, by going to the agenda, we're also streaming to our website, Facebook, and to YouTube. Can't interact there, however. So, first up, I would ask Deputy Supervisor Bollinger to lead the introduction. Okay. So, everyone has a copy of form sent over by Board of Elections. I am going to kind of do a summary of where we've been on absentees, the work we've done with the Board of Elections. After we get through this, but this was the list, because we designated the Board of Elections to help us run a special election and the Board of Registration. We've got a list of prepared motions. We're going to need to do 3, as we're actually setting up 3 boards of registration. So this is a list that was sent over. Everyone here is going to be getting a hourly rate of $14.20 on election day. You'll be here for about 10 hours, likely to go over for absentee counting, depending on the number that comes in. And then the poll site managers, which will be 2, they will receive an additional $45 stipend. So this was, like I said, this was sent over here from the DOE. They can install their polling inspectors, and these are the folks that are available. So just as a reminder, as we're moving through these motions to appoint these boards of registration, just to remind everybody, the dates that the board of registration is going to be meeting are Friday, September 8th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. here in this room, Saturday, then September 9th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in this room, and Monday, September 11th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in this room. So for strictly for people who are not currently registered to vote for elections, those are the times that they can come and either register to vote with the Board of Elections and then subsequently be registered to vote in this special election, or they can sign a separate form to simply register for this special election. That is very much the function of the Board of Registration, so any assistance in getting that out will be appreciated. So
just to restate that, for people who are already registered to vote, who live in the town meeting limits, they do not have to come on Friday, Saturday,
that is the core of our work, the Board of Elections, which we're able to basically accept their list of registered voters at the Board of Registration as the first order of business.
But if you moved and you didn't re-register, please come down. Well, you can also just register to vote regular, as you would, right?
Yeah, we'll have regular registration forms here. I'm gonna grab it from the Board of Elections coming up soon. And so the hope is that as people come in, rather than signing up just for the special election, they'll register to vote, which will again register them for the special election. But if people are interested in strictly registering for the special election, they will do that. So we have, like I said, a list of motions here prepared. The goal here is we're going to do them in sets of 3, as we will be having 3 different boards of registration, 1 for each day, with different folks. And so the motions will move motion to appoint 2 folks for that date to the Board of Registration and however the 14. So thank you for the motions.
We can start. Sure. So I will make a motion to Lisa Pasco and Lisa Owens, Linda Pasco to be the Board of Registration for 9/8/23 at a rate of $14.20 per hour. I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Why don't we just do this system? We did it good. All right. Brianna Williams, I make a motion to appoint Brianna Williams and Janice Wyatt to be the Board of Registration for 9/9/23 at a rate of $14.20 per hour. I'll second that.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, carries.
And I'll make a motion to appoint Kathleen Trost and Barb Lucas to be the Board of Registration for 9/11/2023 at a rate of $14.20 per hour. And I'll second.
All those in favor? All right. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. So that is the board registration done. So next up, we have our polling inspectors that were given to us by the Board of Elections. So any of you would like to make that motion?
I'll make a motion to appoint Linda Pasco, Maureen Ballard, Artie Gilbert, Gail Keller. The positions of poll inspector for the September 23rd special election in the town of Manlius at a rate of $14.50 per hour. That's good.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. And last up, these are the polling site managers, that essentially they're the supervisor staff for the election.
Supervisor, I'll make a motion to appoint Lisa Owens and Mark Connery to the position of full site manager at an hourly rate of $14.20 per hour with an additional $45 stipend.
That's good.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. So we have now appointed our board of registration and we have polling inspectors that are cleared to come in on September 23rd and help us run the election. They will also be staff here before and after to help with machine setups and things like that. We are in fairly constant communication with the Board of Elections right now, just making sure we've got everything in order. And I think just to take this opportunity to kind of walk residents through and bring everybody up to speed. What we have now is we will be picking up all of the envelopes that we needed to print to run the absentee ballot program. The Board of Elections is assisting us with the permanent absentees. These are folks that have marks, permanently require an absentee due to disability or illness. So we're gonna be, as soon as the Board of Registration convenes on Friday, they will be accepting the list of registered voters as registered for this special election, including the permanent absentees. That will then give us the ability to send out those ballots to those permanent absentees so that they can get it as soon as possible and mail back. In addition, we have created on the website a form to sign up for absentee ballots. That's the absentee application. There is an important distinction between absentee ballot application and absentee ballot. Application comes first. The way that we are asking for folks to get that to us is the form can be printed out off your home computer. You can fill it out and then you can either bring it in, or you can submit it online. You can also come down to town hall, ask for an application form, fill it out, and then we'll take that in. At this point, we are not able to give folks that want the ballot delivered in person, the ballot. They will have to come back Friday after about 2:15, 2:20. So
Friday, which this Friday or?
this Friday, yes.
So they can complete the application between 10 and 2, but then they have that.
Well, they can complete the application right now, up until this, and the application will be available. But we cannot deliver, mail out or hand deliver ballots to folks at the window until the Board of Registration has accepted the list of registered voters. So,
I am afraid that I am not following what you are explaining. I apologize, but if I'm not following that, other people might also. Like,
Emily,
can I jump into it? So already the Board of Elections has a permanent absentee list, people that qualify, right? Their reason has been anticipated already. September 8th is when everything is like made real at the end of the meeting. They exist.
right at about 15 minutes when the board.
Right, so very quickly, so then when they meet and then they accept that list, then beginning at that point. They accept the list of registered voters, they accept the permanent absentee people list. That same, right now, we have information about applying for an absentee ballot, even if you're not on the permanent list, you're not on the permanent list. So if you want an absentee ballot, and we talk about the reasons that are qualified for that. You can submit it, but you're not gonna get your ballot until at least September 8th.
Yep.
And then how you get that ballot is,
So the form allows you to select a couple of options. One is delivered to me in person at the town clerk's office. So starting at about 2:30 on Friday, that when you fill out the application and bring it into us, we will then hand you a ballot to fill out and drop off into a ballot box. The other option is to authorizing another person to pick up the ballot. Same function, but a spouse, for example, could bring in 2 forms and receive the ballots. Last option is to have it mailed. So our hope is to get any received application for absentees and the permanents out to the post office by Friday. So we have a pretty tight window that we're gonna pre-prepare and mail it out, get it out as soon as we can. Then on a rolling basis, probably day to day, we will mail out the ballots that come in. Anybody that comes in to request one in person, will receive it in person after that date. And so that process will continue, and so if you are looking to come into town hall, deliver your application and pick up a ballot. The application must be personally delivered to the town clerk's office, not later than the day before the election, so September 22nd, and town hall closes up before. Okay. So that is if you are coming in with your application filled out to get your ballot in. By mail, applications must be received by the town clerk's office by September 16th, so that is 1 week prior to the election. That's because we need the turnaround time to be able to mail those out and then. Well, yes, and there is always the option, we mail you your ballot, you'll receive a return envelope. That you can stuff your ballot and throw a stamp on and mail it back. Or anybody that's received an absentee ballot through the mail can drop it off here. And so the ballot itself must be delivered to the town clerk's office no later than 5 p.m. on election day. So the way that will likely look is there will be a ballot box available for dropping off absentee ballots. And as soon as the polls close, that box also closes. So.
What about if you, when you have to mail it by to have it be received?
So we don't, there is no, because this is not run by the Board of Elections. We don't follow the normal procedure for the Board of Elections. The ballot itself must be in the town clerk's office by 5 p.m. on the day of the election.
Privilege, like, so good, I mail, and we're planning to mail it back.
You should have it mailed by.
As soon as possible.
Yeah.
We can't, I mean.
You don't determine when you're full target law.
We have people that are in the states and countries.
So people will have to use their best judgment of when they know their mail service and turn it around, but like, if it's. The traditional system is as long as it's postmarked by the end of it, so that is not applying to them.
Yeah.
That is going to be confusing for people who need normally do absentees.
So-
I also wanna add that I have added some additional hours, so, the absentee ballot application is kind of today, not the exact date. I will be here on 2 Saturdays to first accept absentee ballot applications, and then I will be here on the Saturday of the election, because absentee ballots are to be turned into me, so I'll be here all day accepting absentee ballot application, or absentee ballots on the day of the election, and then Saturday, September 16th, I'll be here from 9 to noon to take in absentee ballot applications. And then, the supervisor is going to be working with post office, who don't get mail here on Saturdays to get the Saturday mail, so that they have that, on both the, well, applications will come in. Absentee ballot applications can be submitted to my office all the way up into like
Right.
September
If
22nd.
check
If
the
you want
option
it by person.
to receive it in person,
There is.
which
a deadline.
is, I will say. To mail in an application with deliver to me in person at the town clerk's office. Not an ideal situation, because we will receive the application, we will prepare your ballot, and it will sit here and wait for you to come pick it up. So if you are mailing in your absentee ballot application. And you really should be checking to mail the ballot to me, unless you're out of town until such a time, but it's very complicated, it's not perfect. But anybody who is looking to have their ballot mailed, that application has to be received by noon on September 16th.
Can you make, can you make like an infographic that's got the dates? So that people, that we can post to the website, but like, so like, the first, like.
Basically, it's everything at the top of the application form.
Okay.
So it's the day before, for in person, it's September 16th at noon, by mail. And the ballot has to be here by 5 p.m. on election.
Yeah, we can, yeah, we can like put the date and then like what has, like what's happening at that point.
All of those dates are on the website.
Okay.
On the special election page, the absentee ballot process is pretty standard.
Yeah.
There's really ways and everything else, so.
Let's see if I can do like a quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of
But the
most of
date-
the.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
just so we can have a little bit of graphic important dates.
That's
So
fine.
just, is it just about the absentee?
Yep.
Yeah,
And then
absentee, yeah,
we'll do something else for the election.
and maybe we could include like, what date should you have mailed it in, like mailed it by, ASAP,
Yeah.
get it in the mail, because it has to be here, like we can't, like
We
to
can't,
drive up.
we don't wanna give advice on things. you can't-
Well, if it's supposed to be a short of graphic, I can't.
But yeah, but like, however you want to convey that. So the other message I feel like we need to convey is that if you're already registered and you're going to be here, just show up.
Yes.
And they are capable of, people are like getting all confused about the absentee process, and then 90% of the people are gonna be in town, they just don't show up.
So that's a good way, I will cover now the reasons to request an absentee ballot. There are 4 options. I am a patient in a hospital, unable to appear personally at the polling place on election day because of illness or physical disability. My duties, occupation, or business require me to be outside of Onondaga County in such election. I will be vacationing outside of Onondaga County on election day. And I will be absent from my voting residence because I am detained in jail awaiting action by a grand jury or awaiting trial, or I am confined in prison after conviction for an offense other than a felony.
And not religious observance, which is why.
Yes, so those are the reasons that people can select that are appropriate. The list will be available at the town clerk's office of all the applications we received. As well, the statute requires us to have that list available on election day. So. I think I've covered the vast majority of what we need to cover. Is there any questions?
I have one question, so with the expenses with this, how are we tracking them?
So our comptroller
Where's the line?
talks with the New York State comptrollers, and. A line will be created in the town clerk's budget,
Okay,
and there are specific codes for all the expenses.
okay,
So right now, we have the cost of printing envelopes, we'll have postage, and then we will also have a contractual line for all of them. Yes. Any other questions?
Have we done any communication with the folks at Syracuse.com and stuff, or are they going to be helping with?
We put out a couple of different press releases to make sure everyone's well aware. We have calls from reporters, ask questions. If there are further questions from the press, please feel free to send them in. We're happy to answer those. That being said, the special election page on the website has absolutely every piece of information you need. We spent quite a bit of time getting that to the state that it's in right now. And we urge everybody, talk to any resident, ask questions, how to vote absentee, how to vote, who can vote, all these different things. The most important thing to do is send them to the special election website. And then if they have further questions, they will call us.
What if they just moved to town and they missed the registration, their registration dates?
They can register to vote.
Well, yeah, so that is, that's just a problem. If you are not currently registered to vote for elections. And you don't register for registration. You will not be able to vote.
So not
But that is your question, what if I'm registered in Omega County and I move to town of Manlius? If that's your question, I think we will probably have
So-
David ballot available.
Yes, there will be updated ballots available for basically any kind of normal process. Does not work, and someone feels that they are eligible to vote in this election, they will be given an updated ballot, and that will be considered after the.
And the Board of Elections, they'll be the ones reviewing all
Our
of
the
that.
polling inspectors and daily staff we will have the machines here, we will print out numbers, and as soon as the election's over, we'll be canvassing the absentee ballots.
But in terms of registering, I just, there's a constitutional prohibition for registering less than 10 days of the election.
So that was the first question was there, so I was asking, if they're registered, no,
And we are working through some issues. With how the board of elections receives. Voting applications, they don't have a process in place to get everybody registered before September 11th. So we are working with them to make sure that our lists on the election day are as updated as possible.
What's their process for when people call them asking questions about this election?
They are sending them to the website and they have further questions about it.
Okay.
The Board of Elections is assisting us with our absentee process, and they will be running the election on the day of. Everything else is running.
And for the benefit of this gentleman who just showed up with a camera. Who are you affiliated with?
This gentleman,
Maybe we could just run through some of these dates again,
Yeah.
perhaps they could. Or
So-
maybe you could just do an interview with the supervisor or anything like that. Okay, I just wanna make like he was the most important part. He was a lot of information, so-
Thank you, yeah, we'll follow.
Okay, great.
Any other questions?
Do people need to bring an ID?
No, because they'll be registered.
That's been a lot of questions.
So they need to register, if people are coming to the board of registration, they will get
To register.
to register.
Well, once you come to vote on election day, or once you have your absentee ballot, presumably all of that,
It's
It's
all.
the same thing as like when you go on election day, it's just on September 23rd.
And you sign both like you.
Yeah.
sign it up.
Or the tablet.
That's why we got BOE to help us.
Yeah.
That's my,
Well, no, I'm so impressed and appreciative. They've solved so many of these problems that to me were so frustrating. But I think that the IT in particular, but we are.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say, between town clerk and town attorney and myself, we spent a very significant amount of time on this. To get this ad, we had to push out a number of different things, but we have put as much effort into this to make sure that it is as accessible as possible, as publicized as possible, and as fair as possible.
Great, thank you all so much for your hard work, I really appreciate everything you've been doing to. make this happen.
Seeing no other questions,
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. 1 second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, good night, everybody.